can take at least 3 months to build a shotgun by hand. The Zaroo family has been building these bespoke firearms here in Indian-controlled Kashmir since the 1950s. There used to be dozens of gunsmiths like them in the region's summer capital, Srinagar. This neighborhood is even named after the historic industry. But decades of political unrest and tight restrictions on gun ownership have shuttered all but 2 of the family businesses in the capital. India has some of the world's strictest gun laws, and in Kashmir, government red tape ensures that almost no one here can buy one. Most Kashmiris, including the Zaroos, are Muslim, but India is currently controlled by a Hindu nationalist party. It says limiting access to weapons in this region will prevent an uprising. So we went to Kashmir to see how one of the last traditional gun factories is still standing. Nazir Ahmad Zaroo starts by creating the barrels. He's worked here for over 40 years, but the business, which he runs with his 2 brothers and nephew, has recently suffered. He takes a solid steel rod and drills through it on a large boring machine. Working a few inches at a time, he presses through the metal, retracts the drill bit, clears away the shavings, and goes back in again. The machine spurts water into the hole to keep both the steel and the drill bit from overheating. About 50 people used to work at the factory, but these days, it's only about 6.
Yiman tankhadun such mushkil sign khatra wunkenas. Agar aise kam wunkenas yiwan chi theek karne khatra, repair karne khatra. Öchi garti paknama vech pete.
One of those workers is Aman Kumar. He takes the barrels and solders them together over a fire. He works over an open flame to soften the metal, and uses borax to remove impurities from it and ensure a clean joint. He submerges the barrels in a bucket of acid to clear away any residue from the fire. Then it's time to start assembling the gun's action, the mechanism that handles how it fires. They used to make all the parts of the action in-house, but nowadays, so they just assemble all the pre-made parts by hand. They use rasps, hammers, and there's a lot of fine-tuning to make sure every piece fits together perfectly. But some basic materials are hard to find, and sometimes they even have to make their own screws. The way this type of shotgun works is what's called a break action. It's where the barrel hinges down to load and unload ammunition. The Zaroos don't keep shotgun cartridges around the factory because they are only focused on making the guns, not ammunition. At this point, Indian law requires the company to send the partially completed weapon to a government lab for safety testing. This is standard practice for almost every gunmaker in the world, large or small. But for the Zaroo Gun Factory, they only send a gun to the lab when they have a paying customer.
Yitsa lagat karit te agar su tati blast gach ya crack chu gacha barrel tim poncha is hut kanti zaye gacha magar telik now yel Indian Ordnance Factory will tati test kar chu over sozan.
This gun passed inspection. Now it's time to add the hand-carved gun butt that Kashmiri guns are known for. Walnut wood from this region is known for being high quality, durable, and good for carving. Some customers request detailed designs, but others go for a plain finish. These guns can cost anywhere from $270 to $470, depending on the level of customization.
Agar kah koshur aisi yih nima dayo purpose khatra ya chu su wanan ke myasa bulaga kuni jaye nokri as a bank guard ak ami purpose khatra be chu ami purpose khatra thawan ye gan ke ba karha hunting ya shikar karha ba baqi ne kun cheez khatra I'm hekine insan panas vanit ki bu chus safe.
A Zaroo shotgun is a fully functional weapon, but because ownership is restricted, it's likely to remain on the shelf at a customer's home.
Kashmir'in chu shoq ki thavnu gun matlab garan maz ya decorators maz thavnu khatr magar yat cha akh cheez ki government chun yat license karan issue kihin ti ami wajah se chun hekan kashur hethi.
So these days, most guns pile up in the workshop, waiting for the day demand returns. But to really understand the downfall of this industry, we have to look at the region's past. Both India and Pakistan have claimed territory in Kashmir since the 1940s. The disputed border is a ceasefire line called the Line of Control that is guarded by each country's armed forces. But over 90% of the younger generation in the Muslim-majority region want to end India's military presence there, according to a 2019 study. Violent clashes between Indian and Pakistani military forces started in the 40s and continue to this day. But since the 1990s, bloodshed has increased in the region as civilians continue to take up arms against Indian soldiers. As a result, the Indian government banned gun production and stopped issuing licenses in the region. That ban was eventually repealed, and the Zaroos did all they could to keep up the business into the 21st century. But sales haven't recovered. The past few years have been especially bad. In August 2019, India revoked Kashmir's autonomy. The military enforced a security lockdown and communications blackout, hurting local businesses and bringing life to a standstill.
Pat gay 5 पे थोड़ा थोड़ा कम कम ताला गए काज था कई पे गो पता आज गो सास अकबोस था गो ठप.
And although owning a gun is legal, Kashmiri citizens rarely obtain the official paperwork on national security grounds.
ये लाइसेंस का शायद तेले को बंदूक खंदी तेल करो से वने मरमता वरमता चाहिए ती छकारा.
The family is trying to work with local authorities to get the whole industry back on its feet. Baran suggests getting the local police force to become a customer.
As dito ken limited license yut son rozgar te pak yut asti hako bunduk 5 ya bunduk 10 kinit yam sit son agar as nish ak worker chu ya zu worker chu yuhund gar te pak be son gar te pak.
Right now, things can't get much worse for the business.
Zero zero. Kharchi ch 10 rupees. Zero ch 0 rupees. Ichuna noon til kin. Ichuna bazais kin. Arms. Ach karan government appeal karan chi. Central government is karan appeal. As dip samada. Askari.
Even still, the Zaroos say they'd rather keep busy at their 70-year-old shop than just sitting at home. So they keep on building.
मे छु यत काम मज खाली युत योत खुश करान क्याज कि यासा ओस सन बुडी बबन बनोमुत ये कार तो ये छु अस बुछुस ये यछान कि ये कार गोस ब्रोंट पकुन क्याज योस मेनिस बुडी बब सिन वक्त बुछुस न यछान कि ये कार गोस बंद गछ इसलिए छु ऐसी खुश करान
डिजाइन मौला सुजान रोब अस हकम न वनि क्या रोज तो क्या न रोज सु पन्नस परवरदिगारस ता अच्छा आश गच ठीक कुन